What's up, everyone? I'm coming to you today from my actual office for the first time in a while because I want to talk to you about creating a business plan today. I actually led a webinar about how and why to create a business plan for Pet Sitters International last week, and I just got off of a Zoom call with one of my coaching clients helping her create a business plan. And it always amazes me how many businesses have never done this. And I myself was in business for a couple of years before I wrote my first business plan. So I know both sides of this. I know how overwhelming it can seem, but it doesn't have to be as big and scary as you may think. And I can definitely vouch for the fact that having a plan for your business makes success so much easier. You know, success does not just happen overnight. You have to plan for it. You have to figure out what your long-term vision for your business is and then reverse engineer it step by step. And to me, that's really what a business plan is all about. So before I get into all of the details about what to include in your business plan and how to go about writing it, I will say that I have created a one-page business plan template that is on my website. I'll put the link down in the description of this video. So go to dougthedogguy.co and then click on the resources page, scroll to the bottom, and then you can put in your email address, and then you will get that template in your inbox. And I think this one-page template is a really good place for you to start. You know, it covers the basics, and then once you're comfortable with this one-page business plan, then you can go back and start really diving into each of the sections and expanding upon things and go from there. But this is a really good place to start. And if you enjoy this free content and these free resources that I'm putting out for you guys, be sure to smash the subscribe button to stay up to date with my weekly content. If you guys don't know, I put out videos here every week sharing my experiences as a full-time professional pet sitter, dog walker, and pet business owner. I know one of the reasons that I got so overwhelmed with the idea of creating a business plan and why I put it off for so long was that I thought that it had to be an exact certain format, and I thought that it was really only needed if you were seeking investors, and I just didn't really get the point of it. And it just seemed overwhelming, and I had so many other things going on. I had dogs to walk, I had a business to figure out how to market, I had invoices to send. You know, we all have so many plates spinning in the air that, you know, where are you going to find the time to figure out the formatting and all this kind of stuff for a business plan? I get how overwhelming it is. But like I said, it doesn't need to be that big of a deal, and it doesn't need to be that scary. And one thing that I figured out over the years is that trying to run a business without a business plan is kind of like going on a road trip without a map. You know, it may be fun at first, but eventually you're going to end up out of gas, banging your head against the wall, just feeling frustrated and lost. And that is eventually what led me to creating my first business plan. Because I was trying to build and run a business without an actual plan, I was able to find success, but it wasn't the success that I wanted. You know, I was offering services that didn't excite me. I was working with clients that I did not align with. I didn't really know what my overall mission was outside of just offering services. You know, your business needs to stand for something. And I just didn't have any of that figured out. So when I wrote my first business plan, finally, it just made all of this stuff kind of make sense, and it made it all come together. And it's important to remember also that your business plan isn't just a cut and dry document. It is a living, breathing document that is going to change over time. And in this video, we're going to talk about some of the sections that you need to have in your business plan, such as your target audience and who your ideal client is, and your marketing strategy, and the overview of your services. And it's okay if these things change over time. I can tell you that my ideal client now is nothing like what my ideal client was when I started Bad to the Bone 9 years ago. My marketing strategy is totally different. My mission is different. my goals, my overall goals, financially, scheduling wise, my life goals, everything has changed. So it's okay. And on that note, I will highly recommend that once you write this business plan, you need to schedule time to revisit it and reevaluate it at least once a year, if not quarterly. So on that note, I always suggest starting your business plan by just doing a brain dump. We all have all of these different ideas and thoughts and things just flying around in our head all day. And just getting that stuff out of your head onto a piece of paper will help so, so much. And I always start by doing a mind map. So this is an actual mind map that I created for Doug the Dog Guy a few months ago. I had been putting out these YouTube videos for a few months, and I was starting to get requests for coaching clients, and I knew that there was something here that I wanted to run with, but I wasn't really sure what it was or how to go about it. So I just started listing my different ideas, and I started seeing like, okay, well, this leads to this, and this leads to that, and you can start to really see a flow of things. And once you get these ideas onto a piece of paper, it makes everything so much easier, and you can cross things out and just really start getting your thoughts organized. And on the back of my office door over here, I have like 50 of these taped up because every time I come up with like a new business idea, I start doing this, and over time it all kind of starts to make sense. And once you have kind of a mind map created and you start to see how your ideas are flowing, then I say to turn your phone off, get really comfortable, get peaceful, get focused, and spend about an hour just freehand writing about your long-term vision of what your ideal business really looks like. And use these ideas and this flow of things as the premise to your thoughts when you are writing. And then after that, the first part of most business plans is what's called an executive summary. And that's just an overview of your business plan. So after you've spent this like hour freehand writing and getting all of your ideas onto a piece of paper, you can kind of condense that and organize that into this executive summary that your official business plan will begin with. So after you've gotten your thoughts organized and you've written this summary, the next part of the business plan that I like to focus on is your mission and vision statements. And like I said previously, we are not just pet sitters and dog walkers. We are building a business that stands for something. It stands for something that's greater than us and greater than the services that we are offering. And that's really what the mission statement is all about. It defines why your company exists in the first place. And I'm not gonna touch too much on the vision statement. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm talking mostly about the mission statement here because I think it is super, super important. But both of these things, your mission and vision statement, should not be more than 2 sentences, and they should be very encompassing, and they should have a who, what, and why. So my mission statement for Bad to the Bone is to uplift and inspire our local community through our work with pets and their families. See, that kind of covers everything in that statement, and it really defines why we exist as a company. And this mission statement comes into effect when you are defining who your target audience is and who your ideal client is. It's going to go into effect with your marketing strategy and your community outreach. And it really goes into effect with your day-to-day decisions. Every single decision that I make in my business, whether it's figuring out whether or not I should hire someone, whether or not I should participate in an event, or raise our prices, or start offering a new service, or should I stop offering an existing service, whatever it may be, every day-to-day decision, I ask myself, does this decision uphold our mission as a business? And just being able to bring every decision back to that one thing makes all of my day-to-day decisions a lot easier. You know, as small business owners, we have to deal with hundreds, sometimes thousands of decisions every week. So every little thing that we can do to make that decision-making process easier on us is a win. So define what your business stands for. And this is something that, you know, next in the business plan, I talk about your target audience and, you know, having a mission that aligns with your target audience is super important. And I just said that my mission as a business is to uplift and inspire our local community. So that means that my target audience, when I'm defining their demographics and their beliefs and their pain points and all of these different things, I bring that into that and I say that I want to work with clients that care about bettering our community. And there's a lot of different things that go into that. But, you know, talking about the target audience and who your ideal client is, you know, I really suggest creating an avatar of what exactly this ideal client looks like. Are they old or young? Are they educated or not? Are they homeowners or renters? Do they have kids or not? Are they still working or are they retired? Or maybe they're in school. You know, get super detailed about this and really think about what their pain point is. Do they need you and your services and your help because they are stuck in an office all day and they feel bad about leaving their pets cooped up at home while they're at work all day? Or do they need you and your services because they're off traveling the world in their retirement years and they need your help while they are out of town? You know, really defining who this person is and why they need you, what their pain point is, and what they believe in is going to directly affect the services that you offer, how you offer your services, the policies surrounding your services, and it is going to play a huge factor into your marketing strategy. So once you have gotten your thoughts organized and done this brain dump and written your executive summary and then written your mission and vision statements and then defined exactly who your target audience is and created this ideal client avatar, next we are going to outline your services. So think about what you want to offer. Think about what's going to be exciting for you to offer. Think about what is needed in your community. And think about who you want to work with, this ideal client that we just defined, and what they need. And then get super detailed on this. Don't just say, I'm going to offer dog walks or I'm going to offer pet sitting services. Figure out exactly what each service that you are going to offer includes and doesn't include. And think about the policies and the procedures and the systems that are going to be needed to make these services successful and make them everything that they can be. And I really suggest looking at your other businesses in your area and doing some market research on this. You know, if you look at the other businesses in your area and you see that everyone is offering a standard 30-minute dog walk, you want to think about how you can differentiate your service and make it stand out. So if all the other businesses are offering a standard 30-minute dog walk, maybe you could offer like a 45-minute doggy adventure. And maybe if none of the other businesses are including extras, maybe you could say that every one of your dog walks includes chilled water and a foot massage at the end. I'm just throwing out some examples here. But you want to think about how to take your services to the next level and stand out from the other businesses in your area. And one thing that I suggest doing while you're thinking about your services and doing this market research is to not just look at these other businesses' websites and see what they're offering there, but to actually pick up the phone and call these businesses. And I know that idea can be a little bit daunting, especially if you're newer to the industry, But if you've watched any of my videos before, you know how adamant I am about forming meaningful long-term relationships with the other businesses in your area. I'm all about building community over competing. You know, there's plenty of pets to go around for all of us. There's no reason for us to be competing or get jealous of each other. There's plenty of room for us to all work together as a pet care community. So pick up the phone and call these businesses and say, hey, I'm Doug. I'm a new pet sitter and dog walker. I'm trying to get my business off of the ground. You know, I see what you are doing with your business and it's really inspiring. I really like the services that you have offered on your website. I'd love for you to tell me more about what you're doing. And tell me, you know, I see that you're offering dog walks. Do you have a lot of dog walking clients, or could you accommodate more clients? And what can I do as a new business to help you? You know, I know that I am going to get clients and requests that I cannot accommodate, so I want to have someone good that I can refer to. And once you start having these conversations with other businesses, you're going to start forming relationships that are going to lead to great things. You can learn from each other, you can share clients back and forth, and when you start asking questions about, hey, can you accommodate more clients for this service, or are you booked up? And you start getting feedback from multiple businesses, you can really start to see where the holes in the market is. If every single business that you talk to says, oh man, we are slammed for dog walks and I can't hire fast enough, then that tells you that there's room for another dog walker in your area, and you can offer that service pretty easily. But if all these other businesses are telling you, man, you know, the market's just really saturated, there's a lot of dog walkers in our area and we don't really get a lot of requests for that service, that tells you that maybe you should either offer a different service or you just need to differentiate your service in a way that really stands out. And I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse with this, but I think it's super important and it's something that is really overlooked by a lot of businesses. So I just really want to reiterate how important this is. And something else that I recommend doing as you are outlining your services and doing this market research is doing what's called a SWOT analysis. SWOT. That's strengths and weaknesses, and you look internally at that, and then opportunities and threats, and you look externally for those things. And I'll put a little graphic up here on the screen so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But again, this is part of the market research phase of your business plan. Anybody that's watched my channel before knows how adamant I am about having documented systems and procedures for every recurring task in your business. And while outlining your SOPs is not necessarily part of the business plan process, I do want to mention that while you are in this phase and you're outlining your services and you're looking at what other businesses are doing, this is a really good time for you to think about your SOPs and kind of start outlining those things in a different document. And I will put some links to my other videos about systematizing your business down in the description below, and that is one of my specialties. You know, as a business coach, I say that my specialties are hiring, systematizing, and pricing strategy. So if you need help on any of those three things, definitely go to dougthedogguy.co and let's schedule a Zoom meeting. I would love to help you in any way that I can. And I just mentioned pricing strategy, and that is something else that you're going to want to think about when you're looking at who your ideal client is and outlining your services, is defining your prices from a point of data and knowledge, and not just setting your prices off of comparing to other businesses or making an emotional decision when a client calls you frantic, which will happen. And I have created a couple of other videos focusing on that side of things, about how to reverse engineer your pricing from a point of data and knowledge, and I will put the links to those videos down in the description as well. So now that you have gotten your thoughts organized, you've written your mission and vision statement, you have defined your target audience and created your ideal client avatar, you have done your market research, you've done your SWOT analysis, you've reached out to other businesses, you have outlined your services, you're thinking about your SOPs, you have set your prices from a point of data and knowledge. The next step would be to outline your marketing strategy. And with your marketing strategy, I always say to go back to who your ideal client is and what their main pain point is. And what I mean by that is, let's say that your ideal client is a wealthy retired couple, and their pain point is that they are taking vacations a few times a year and they need you to pet sit for them. The way in which you are going to market your services to that type of client is going to be very different from how you market your services to, let's say, a millennial that is stuck in an office 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, and needs you for dog walking services. So think about who your ideal client is and the services that you're going to be offering, and get in their head and think about where they hang out, what they pay attention to, what their beliefs are, and kind of create a story around this and get that story in those places where your ideal client is paying attention. And I have a video about some different marketing ideas that I have used and recommend within my business, that I'll put the link to that video down in the description as well. And that, I mean, I could talk all day about marketing strategy, but I think to just keep this short and simple, just get inside the mind of who your ideal client is, and then get your services in front of them in the right way. And if you try to market your business before deciding who your ideal client is, then you're going to have no way of knowing if you're marketing your businesses in the right way and in the right places. So make sure that you're doing these things in the right order. Something else that I just want to very quickly mention while we're on the subject of marketing strategy is the rule of 7. And I talk about this in a couple of other videos, but it is a really important principle to marketing your business. And that is that a potential client on average needs to have 7 different interactions with your brand before they will sign up for your service or purchase your product. So get inside the mind of your ideal client, and then you need to define 7 different ways to get your business in front of them. And that can look like a lot of different things, but go watch my marketing video. You know, I want to keep this short and simple here, but remember the rule of 7. Now, after your marketing strategy, we want to get into your projections. Your financial goals and projections will be the next step of your business plan. And I know that the numbers and the math side of things can be a little bit overwhelming and a little out of our wheelhouse for a lot of us pet professionals. I know it took me a long time to really wrap my mind around that side of things. You know, I'm Doug the dog guy, not Doug the numbers guy, but I will say that you need to get comfortable with your numbers, and you need to understand all of the different finances of your business, and you need to be able to make fairly accurate projections for the future to be able to run a sustainable, successful business. I mean, there's just no way around that. So we already talked about pricing strategy a little bit, and I already referenced you to the video that I have created about setting your prices from a point of data and knowledge. And one thing that I hit on in that video is you need to create a financial goal for your business and kind of reverse engineer it. and you need to figure out what is feasible for you on the scheduling side of things. And what I mean by this is that, let's say, for example, that your goal is to have $100,000 in revenue for the year. And let's say that you are charging $25 per dog walk. If that is the case, that means that you will have to offer 4,000 dog walks to reach your $100,000 in revenue. And if you have to offer 4,000 dog walks for the year, that means that if you are working 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that's 11 walks per day, which is not recommended and is not sustainable for anyone, period. And then if you are just working 5 days a week, and taking the weekends off, still at that $25 per walk with a $100,000 goal, that means that you would have to do 16 walks per day, which again is just not sustainable for very many of us. Now let's say that you raise your prices by $5 and you're now offering dog walks for $30 per walk. That means that to reach $100,000 in revenue, you would have to do 3,333 walks per year. And that means that if you are working 365 days a year, that is 9 walks per day. Or if you're only working weekdays and taking the weekends off, that is 13 walks per day. So you can see that there's a big difference by just raising your prices by $5. It makes a big difference on the scheduling side of things to reach your financial goals. So now, once you're kind of playing with these numbers and seeing how all of this flows, then you can start to ask yourself, okay, well, how many clients do I need to be able to reach capacity and to reach that goal? And now, how much is it going to cost me in marketing to get that number of clients? And then you can start figuring out what your profit margin is, and you can start figuring out what your ideal marketing strategies are, and it all kind of starts to come together to kind of paint this big, beautiful picture that is your business. And then once it's a little difficult in the beginning. I mean, I'll just admit, this is a little bit difficult in the beginning, but once you have done it and you're kind of rocking and rolling, it gets a lot easier. And then you are going to need these financial projections, and you're going to need to understand these numbers before you start hiring. And not all of us want to hire, not all of us want to grow a team, but if that is your goal, if growing a team is your goal, then you need to understand these numbers, and you need to know if you have enough profit margin and know that you are priced appropriately to be able to pay and sustain an adequate staff. And I see a lot of people trying to hire before understanding the financial side of things, and that's a slippery slope that's going to lead to disaster. You have to understand your finances before you hire. And I have created several other videos about hiring, and I actually have a full hiring course that is going to be coming out on June 1st of this year, 2023. So sign up for my email newsletter on dougtheDogGuy.co. Link is in the description to stay up to date with that. If you're watching this video after June 1st, 2023, then that means that hiring course is already out. So I'm going to try to cover everything that I can in that course. You know, I have 30 employees currently on my team, and I have been hiring and managing people for 9 years now. And I just cannot stress enough how important understanding the numbers is before hiring. And that leads me right into the next step of your business plan, is that if you are going to have a team, you want to go ahead and outline what that structure is going to look like. You know, and I'll put a graphic up here on the screen. But, you know, at the bottom of your pyramid, you have your base team members, your pet sitters and dog walkers. And then above them, you may have some team leads. And then maybe above them, you may have your administrative help. And then you have your management role, which for a lot of us is ourselves at the very top of our pyramid. and then kind of start delegating things and delineating each of these roles. You know, what exactly is a pet sitter and dog walker on your team in charge of? You know, and what do these admin roles look like? Who's in charge of marketing? Who's in charge of social media? Who's in charge of answering the phone? Who's in charge of scheduling and invoicing? Who is in charge of onboarding new clients? Who is in charge of interviewing your new team members? How does all of this play out? You want to go ahead and start outlining these things in your business plan before you get to that stage of your business. Because if you start hiring before you have all of this stuff figured out, it just kind of create a lot of confusion for you and your team. So get all of this stuff on paper, sorted out in your business plan from the get-go. Now, all of that being said, that is my base overview for your business plan. Again, I have the one-page business plan template on my website, and I think that that is a really good place to get you started and get your wheels turning, and then you can dive into each of the sections on that one-page business plan and come back to this video and start really fleshing things out, and just use that one-page template as a way to get yourself started. But don't overthink these things. You know, you got to start somewhere. It's okay if it takes you a little bit of time. It's okay if you handwrite it on napkins and then tape it together if you don't want to type it all out on Word. You know, find what works for you. There's no point in creating a business plan if you are not going to actually use it and go back to it and follow it and schedule time throughout your year to reevaluate it and figure out what is working and what is not working. And something else I'll kind of throw in here at the end is you want to define what success looks like for you. You know, how are you going to define success, and what are your KPIs revolving around that? And how are you going to track these things? I can have a whole other conversation about that, but it does kind of go along with the business plan process. And you know, this is kind of my overview. This is how I think about a business plan. But you know, if you Google how to write a business plan, you'll find all kinds of different templates and different resources, and you'll see articles like the 5 essential things about a business plan and the 7 essential things about a business plan. Everybody kind of has a slightly different thought process on it. So this is just what has worked well for me and my business and my coaching clients. And I hope it at least just gets you on the right track. And your business plan may include different things. It may have a different format than I have outlined here. But the premise of this is that you just have to have a plan to become successful. Success does not just happen. You have to plan for success. So I really hope this video has been helpful. If you would like me to help you step by step and walk you through your own business plan and defining each of these things, definitely sign up for a consulting session. You know, I've got a sign up form on my website where you know, I ask for a little bit more information about where you are in your business, and then I'll shoot you an email after you submit that form, ask you some more questions, and then we'll jump on a Zoom call and kind of go from there. And watch out for this hiring course that's going to be coming out on June 1st. And let me know what else you guys would like to see in these YouTube videos down in the comments below. And I just really appreciate you guys continuing to support the channel here and support the things that I'm trying to do within the pet care community. I really, really appreciate you. And I'm Doug the Dog Guy from Bad to the Bone Pet Care, and I'm reminding you to stay positive.